getting ready to see the contemplative court water feature. It's also called the Oculus. My name's Chris Roy. I'm the senior designer and also senior construction manager with Wesco Fountains. So I really ran all the coordination on this project, working with the architects, with the design team, and then with the various subcontractors and other trades involved. It was really a team effort.
What you see with respect to the water itself was Wesco. This beauty was put together in a span of 6 months. The volume and the magnitude of the number of the trades involved. There were 10 to 12 different trades at any given time in the 6 months of the work that we had to work together in a very high visible area when it comes to static of the job. The beauty that you see is put together even with all those challenges associated with it.
The ring trough is about 3 feet wide and it's about 2 feet deep. It's 360 degrees and it's fed at the northernmost point and then 60 degrees southwest and 60 degrees southeast, and then there's 4 pipes each.
There's a network of pipes that feed this, the water that navigates all the way through the building. Now, because this water feature wasn't put in the initial drawings, there's no easy route for the pipes to go. We kind of had to create one of our own. There's a real easy route from the suction line, from this part down to the equipment room. It's actually, the equipment room is directly beneath us, like 2 or 3 stories. But in order to feed the water up there, actually, we had to literally navigate to the opposite side of the building and then go down and then come all the way back. So it was quite an ordeal navigating all the pipes over here. And these weren't PVC pipes that we just screwed together. It was all stainless steel mechanically installed pipes using Victaulic couplings and everything. So we had quite a team. At any given point, I'd have 6 pipe fitters on site, and we were just in there, fitting the pipe, manually installing it, working with other trades, you know, to make sure we didn't hurt anybody else's stuff, because a lot of the stuff was already up.
For the supply pipes, the directive for all the plumbing was do not run pipes over gallery space. So in the event that ever something were to happen and cause a leak, that it can't ruin the artifacts. So the plumbing runs back and runs over the public walking spaces and through the stairs. So it's about 200 feet to the far side of the building, then down the next 50 feet and then 200 feet back. So we got that 450-foot pipe run purely out of the nature of wanting to avoid running pipes over gallery space.
This is a good vista to give you all the different panel types and all the different geometry here. You can see from this vantage the spandrels and how they align with these planar panels. And there's also a ribbon notch that runs through the middle of the elevation just to break up the massing of the facade. This is what you see as you drive over the bridge and come in. This is kind of where we all started, Michael's renderings here. The garage almost looks like a pyramid. There's a massive amount of precast panels cladding these elements on the different floors as they slope back in. There's some big heavy panels, 40,000 pounds of panel, not including the dirt, the snow, and the trees that are going to go in it eventually. Can't leave it off that face of the slab, so the connections are massive connections. So here's really where you can see the meat of the job, which again are these spandrels and planar pieces. And as you can see, the 45-degree slope and all these reveals have to, and the panel joints have to follow and match down this 400 linear feet on a slope so that it looks continuous. So that's a ton of geometry, and the crispness of the reveals of how it all went together is a testament not only the planning that we did with Michael, but also the fabrication and installation process. We have these radius walls here that make up the casino entrance, and then we have a little bit of more precast, kind of some flat wall precast that clads the pool around the hotel. There's a little bit of mica in the sand, and the architect also chose to put a little bit of black stone in the mix so that it just doesn't look so dull and has a little bit of life to it. So there's actually crushed black granite that acts as kind of a pepper to the overall finish of the job. This is a good point as you scope down this elevation to see how much detail work for all the reveals to line up, particularly as they return. and come into, so this sloping reveal lines up as it continues down this whole elevation. As you can see here, this is the P7 entrance, which is kind of the largest of the entrances. And here again, you have the 45-degree sloping precast matching up with this return pieces that are straight 90, and then that have to match up with the negative 35 degrees that come back into it.
This is a phenomena of not only geometry, but of engineering too, because this is very difficult to hold up there.
Oh yeah, the structural design for these sloping elements was very, very tough and complicated. And the concrete guy did a great job pouring this thing very accurately.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Schuster did the concrete. One of the other big challenges is, unlike an office building or a typical building, where if we had a 40,000-pound panel, which is heavy in general, but at least the crane would sit here and could sit right in front of it and set it. Not only is it 7 stories in the air, but it's also 40, 50 feet back, because the building slopes back like a pyramid. So the crane has to really be sized to lift it not only 7 stories in the air, but 60 feet behind itself for the pyramid.
The premise of our work on this project was the facade retention, so they could demo the roof, all the existing floors, complete renovation, and we worked with Patuxent Engineering Group, Grunley, to value engineer the project, to come up with a bracing system that allowed the new construction, the exterior excavation, waterproofing, underpinning operation, all had to be coordinated for the renovation of the facade. This building, the facade, is over a mile long around the exterior of the building. We have the whaler system was installed on the building. There's each of the bracing systems is tied to a foundation. So we were involved in coordinating the design between the whaler system, the caisson subcontractor. We put in all the braces. All of our braces had to have a mechanism for detensioning them for settlement of the wall. They've got a monitoring system on the facade that they've been monitoring the facade as they have done all the demolition, reconstruction. These 60-foot custom wall braces for the 4-story conditions are something that we came up with, worked with Patuxent on designing, and they were all custom fabricated in our shop and on site. There's over 300 braces on the building and 11 towers that we have in. The towers are for the 5-story conditions and for logistics. Just to give you a overall perspective, we're standing here right now looking at this inset on the building where these 4 towers are. So it just gives you a perspective on how large this building is. You can't capture it in a camera. I mean, it's massive. A lot of the lower braces are stock braces. We had to comb them from the country from about 7 different states to find enough inventory to do the job, such a huge project. And we had to custom fabricate the larger ones. Yeah. And we were still about 20% short on the braces. There was no more to be bought up, and we started buying raw steel and got the ends fabricated and had to make the last 20% in-house. But the concern is as it settles, because we have rigid braces, that it will start pushing the wall over. Yeah. Right?
It will come in, push it in.
Exactly.
And that's why you relieve it.
That's why we're relieving it. The shorter braces are a turnbuckle screw type, right, left-handed screw, so we're able to detension those. The longer 60-foot custom fabricated 10-inch by 10-inch square tubes have a slotted connection at the base, and we have a torque value, so we were able to release that, make sure that it resettled in the slot and retorqued the bolt. And that's all under the direction of Patuxent Engineering Group. So, but this is a good snapshot of the logistics challenges of installing all this steel. Every one of these braces were installed with a very large telescoping boom forklift. We had a single point attachment on it. So we brought these in one by one, had to install them in place. We had to get the power lines booted. We've got the tree canopy or the root protection we had to work around. We had to work around the tree. So all these towers were craned in. So another area, some tough logistics. So this is just the inside perspective. You can see all the whalers that were installed before the floors were gone. But there was a lot of concerns and challenges with the conditions of the walls once they got into them. starting probably within the next 30 days on the center building that we walk through. We are going to start removing some of the braces on the building from the bottom up. We're going to be taking out some bands of bracing on the lower levels so they can get their window guys started. And this is probably the largest facade bracing I'll see in my lifetime, I'm guessing.
Really impressive.
It's a neat job site. It's been a neat project to be part of.